Is that what you want to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your plea?
Guilty, Your Honor.
I'll accept your guilty plea and find you guilty. What is your problem?
Can I read you my letter, Your Honor?
You've been, when your case got bound over from Willoughby back in December, until you came here and left for NeoCap, you were an ass ache in the jail. When you came back from NeoCap, you continue to be an ass ache almost on a daily basis. What is your problem?
Your Honor.
Because I'm sick of it. I got a pile of paper about you like this, on all the problems you're causing over there. What's your problem?
With the jail situation, I have been causing an issue with other inmates. Me and other inmates get into it a lot. A lot of people in there facing time. A lot of people about to do time. A lot of people, and people bumping heads in there. And I could just say on my behalf, I have been getting into a lot of fights, and I've been taking it, and I've been apologizing, pleading guilty, and trying to move forward.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. I don't have a stack of paper like this on any other person in there. I don't have any papers on any other person in there except you.
Your Honor, when I first got to the jail, it was a different scenery for me. I wasn't.
In this first part, the narrator sets the stage by explaining that today's video will focus on two defendants in Ohio who are both in serious legal trouble. He describes one as being in a probation revocation hearing where he blames everyone else for his problems. The second is a sentencing for identity theft. Before diving in, the narrator transitions to a sponsorship segment about Aura, a security service that helps protect people's data. He warns viewers about major data breaches affecting millions of people. He emphasizes the importance of protecting personal information online. The sponsorship is pitched as a vital tool to avoid scammers. He encourages viewers to sign up for Aura to protect their online lives. The segment closes with appreciation to Aura for sponsoring the video and then moves to begin the court coverage. This introduction sets up the tone of holding people accountable while also encouraging personal responsibility. The ad read also highlights that crime can be digital as well as physical.
When I was in prison, a lot of people, the meanest, biggest guy, tell you excuse me. So I was getting into it a lot with people that didn't have no problem with disrespecting, you know, and it's one TV, one remote. So a lot of things just was, and I ain't trying to make no excuse to you, Your Honor, because I know you don't like them. And I'm admitting my part. I was fighting. I was. And when you sent me to NeoCap, I told myself, I'm gonna have a lot more self-control because I know you ain't gonna take that. You're not gonna accept that, especially with my jail record. Now, when I was in NeoCap, I like to read you this letter right quick, and because I'm better at writing how I feel. I said, Your Honor, when I was at NeoCap, I was falsely accused of being terminated from the program NeoCap, in which I have key evidence of phone calls with my lawyer, voicemails, and video footage indicating that I wanted to lead the program myself. The staff members can testify to my credibility, Your Honor. I even spoke with my probation officer, Mr. David Tompkins, before I got there about my uneasiness about being there. And he stated, while I was there, my lawyer could file a motion to have me removed while I was there. There was residents who was putting my rehabilitation in danger with derogatory terms and prejudiced statements. I probably could have used better coping skills to adjust to my environment a little more. I just felt uncomfortable being around such negativity and hate. Also, I have more to lose than the average person because my freedom is at risk. In just a short period of time, I was informed I had some redirections, but I wasn't even informed when I reached. I was informed that I had multiple redirections, but I wasn't even informed when I reached a couple redirections, Your Honor. So I felt I was being targeted because I told the staff members and everybody there that I wanted to leave NeoCap, but in good standards. It was a problem that I wanted to leave because Miss Lisa, the head supervisor there, told me there was only two ways people left NeoCap on her watch. Either they finished.
The first hearing opens with defense counsel stating the client will waive the final hearing and plead guilty to the probation violation so sentencing can proceed immediately. The judge confirms this and accepts the plea. Almost immediately, the judge asks the defendant what his problem is, noting he has a thick stack of disciplinary records from the jail. The defendant admits he gets into fights with other inmates. He says it's crowded and tensions run high. He tries to excuse his behavior by saying other inmates provoke him. The judge isn't buying it and reminds him no one else in the jail has such a record. The defendant stumbles over excuses about being unused to jail life. The judge makes it clear that if he continues living like a criminal, he better get used to jail. This exchange sets a confrontational but honest tone between judge and defendant.
Other side was like, you can do it, Jaden, just a little longer. I'm like, no, man, because I'm gonna lose my temper, and I can't go in front of my judge for putting my hands on nobody when they got a zero tolerance for fighting. So I asked to be moved again. They was like, no. It was like the next time something happened, let us know. And I let him know. Then the very next day, he made a black joke, and everybody in the room laughed because I was the only black dude on that side. So I told him again.
So you got kicked out of there because the director was trying to talk to you about something, okay? And you kept talking over her and arguing with her, and you got louder and louder. They moved you to another area away from other people, and you continued to yell and talk over her till they moved you to a room where nobody was in, attempted to talk to you again. You did the same thing, then started throwing stuff. That's why you got kicked out.
Your Honor, that is what they trying to tell you, Your Honor.
I have had one other problem, one other alleged problem at NeoCap, 9.5 years, and it turned out to be bullshit, okay? So all I know is you were an ass ache over here when you got here from Willoughby, when you got arrested in December, until you left, and it started again once you came back. No. So you're going back here. Now, you're going back to the jail. And I'm going to get a daily goddamn report on you. And if there's any trouble with you, then you're coming right back here for the sentence. Do you understand me?
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't want to hear any more bullshit going on with you.
Your Honor, can I please tell you something?
Here the defendant continues, explaining. He's been fighting because of disrespect in jail. He blames other inmates for provoking fights over things like the TV remote. He tries to show contrition by admitting he was fighting, but says he's been apologizing and trying to move on. The judge immediately shuts that down, pointing out the massive record of problems. The defendant tries again to explain it was a culture shock when he first entered jail. The judge responds that as long as he chooses criminal behavior, he will be in that environment. The defendant mentions getting sent to NeoCap and wanting to change. He claims he intended to have better self-control. The judge listens but remains skeptical. This section shows the judge is willing to listen but has little patience for repeated bad behavior.
That's why they playing with my life, man. They calling you and they telling you shit I'm doing, but they ain't tell you what they doing. They over there fucking with me. I mean, they over there messing with me.
All
man.
these COs are fucking with you.
No, man.
You're saying?
It's a lot of it ain't all of them. I'm cool with a lot of them. It's some of them, and they going to the sergeants, and the sergeants is going to the lieutenants, and they getting to you. And now you looking at my record because they know it's because I'm fighting. But I ain't never had no problem with no CO. And then until I came back, they playing with my life, man. They playing with my food. They playing with my food.
Why are all these guys suddenly doing that with you?
It ain't suddenly.
When I've never heard a whiff of a complaint about them doing it with other people.
Man, it's going around right now. It's officers that's literally searching people inappropriate. I got a PREA going on. That's why they did this. That's why they put me in front of you and called you like, get him out of here. Because I got a PREA going on. Because Officer Hammer touched my dick. I mean, my private part. Excuse my language. He touched my private part, and it ain't nothing I can do because they laughing in my face about this. And I can't put my hands on him because I'm going to be in front of you for an assault. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't nothing I can do. But I've been retaliating. I've been retaliating, doing dumb stuff, refusing to go in my cell and stuff like that because this the only way that I can get anything. Your Honor, they is only telling you one side and they got the facts because they got the paperwork. I don't have paperwork. I can't make my own paperwork of what they doing to me, Your Honor. They literally is playing with my life and they put me in front of you because they know all they got to do.
In this section, the defendant asks to read a letter he wrote to better explain himself. He claims he was unfairly terminated from Neo and says he has evidence to prove it. He says staff members at NeoCap can vouch for him. He describes being uncomfortable due to derogatory and prejudiced remarks from other residents. He admits he could have used better coping skills but felt targeted. He says he has more to lose because his freedom is at stake. He claims he wasn't always notified when he got disciplinary write-ups. He insists he asked to leave NeoCap in good standing, but staff made it difficult. He describes feeling boxed in with only bad options. This section highlights the defendant trying to reframe himself as a victim of the system rather than a troublemaker.
Mr. I'm just very, I'm tired of just letting my family down, and you know, I just need definitely a chance at treatment. You know, it's a hard addiction, and but you know, I just. I really don't think you know, doing any more time would be well with the with everything. I'm just kind of lost for words. I'm just tired of letting my family down. You know, I'm getting too old for this. So, 42 years old, and just,
Where'd you get the checks from?
I got the checks from the side of the mailbox.
Why do you have their...
Judge counters the letter by summarizing the real reason the defendant got kicked out of NeoCap. He says the defendant argued and talked over the director repeatedly. When staff tried to de-escalate, he got louder and more disruptive. Even when moved away from others, he continued yelling. Finally, he started throwing things. The defendant tries to deny this and says they're lying about what happened. The judge cuts through the excuses by pointing out that he's the only one with a huge problem file in the entire facility. He notes the defendant's disruptive behavior wasn't isolated. The judge's tone is stern but also detailed, making sure there's no confusion about why he lost that program. This moment underscores the court's commitment to truth over self-serving narrative.
So much, you can't keep straight the lies that you tell. Okay?
I understand.
Because you were asked specifically about this case by Mr. Clement, and you told him that you found the checks and the drugs and some fake money in an abandoned house that you were cleaning out. And you took one of the checks and cashed it for $900, which was the Albertone check. Unless Albertone's hanging out in a drug house,
No.
okay? So it can't be both. You can't have grabbed them out of his
Right.
mailbox on Garden Drive and then found it in the abandoned home in a bad neighborhood. So why are you lying to me?
There was just two separate occasions, is what.
Well, so where did you get the Dominic Albertone check that you cashed for $900?
By this golf course, and,
Okay,
and
and why did you tell him you got it out of this abandoned house?
because to tell you the truth, sir, I didn't know whose name or who these, you know what I mean? I don't know which checks were which ones or which one were to belong to who, you know what I
Okay,
mean?
now you've been in jail for 148 days, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So
Despite all the arguing, the judge announces his decision. He will send the defendant back to jail, but will get daily reports on his behavior. If the defendant causes any more trouble, he'll be brought back immediately for sentencing. The judge gives him a chance to prove he can behave. The defendant tries to interject with more explanations, saying staff at the jail provoke him. He claims he's being targeted and they're messing with his food. The judge challenges him, asking why staff would single him out when there are no similar complaints about other inmates. The defendant says it's not all staff but a few. The judge wants to know why those specific officers would have such animosity. This section shows the judge balancing strictness with giving the defendant one last opportunity. Defendant explains that he has a bad relationship with certain staff because he refuses to back down when they mistreat him. He says others just accept it, but he retaliates, which escalates things. He admits to refusing orders like going to his cell or refusing meals. He insists other inmates also resist, but says he never used violence against staff. He claims his pushback is the only way to get any attention for his complaints. The judge points out he's focusing only on himself. The defendant acknowledges he's done wrong, but insists there's another side to the story. He apologizes that things even had to get this far. The exchange shows a complex mix of defiance, self-pity, and genuine fear of losing his freedom.